This is a DocBlock Anthurium Michelle. It's beautiful, dramatic, rare, maybe a little bit high maintenance. So basically me last weekend. I'm in love with this. I can't wait to tell you about it. And also a little bit of story time about seeing the queen of burlesque, Dita Von Teese in Las Vegas.
That was the best show I've ever seen.
Hi, I'm Willie. Let's dive into it and talk about this glamorous houseplant. I think it can kind of be hard to see sometimes the size of these plants. So I wanted to outline that this one is quite substantial. And I think I really lucked out. I was very excited. I got this at the Home Depot. It is part of the Proven Winners Leaf Joy line, and as I mentioned before, it is a DocBlock Anthurium. DocBlock is the creme de la of prestige botanists. So this has been on my wish list for a long time. They can be a little pricey. The ROI is high, so they're worth it, but you know, the chance to snap up a substantial Anthurium Michelle for only $99, it seems like a dream. Or something equivalent of like finding a diamond in a gumball machine. So I've been trying to track one down, and up to this point, I have not been successful. But if you make the right bet, you can win big. Getting this plant and purchasing it was a little bit less of a stressful experience than randomly running to big box stores with a glimmer of hope. This was facilitated by being sold at a pop-up event at the Sunset Hills Home Depot here in Missouri in Kirkwood. It was very exciting and very nice. So this pop-up event was on a Friday, and they had 12 of the anthuriums. When I showed up, I think 4 or 5 had sold. I'll put in a little bit of video. We're at Sunset Hills Home Depot. I'm very excited. It's sort of hard to contain myself. I'm very nervous. I am going to be very excited if I get one of these, but we'll see. I'm also tempering my expectations. There might be 16 people already lined up. The people hosting the event were really nice, really fun to talk to. It's so hard to pick. Oh my gosh. This one is calling to me, but I don't know. Is it just because of that big leaf? When it comes to this prestige houseplant, because it does seem like a value, like a really, really good deal, but still, it is $100. And if you've ever watched any of my other videos, I can definitely kill a plant. So I'm a little worried that's gonna happen, but I'm holding on to the good feelings and keeping the faith. And, you know, knock on wood, I'm standing by a table. There, it was just me. Oh dear, that was not good. They gave these little pamphlets out, which I love. The greenhouse that grew my specific Anthurium Michelle is Hampshire Farms in Illinois. Interesting facts about this beguiling anthurium, but needless to say, this was really awesome, and it was nice to know when the plant was dropping, what the price was, and where to be, and all those things that can happen when you're anxious and want things to go well. And I have to give a really big shout out to my husband, Nick, for finding this post on Facebook, because without all of those components, me having this would not be possible. It takes a village to fill my God-shaped hole with plants. So we have succeeded. Here we go. We're just going to give you a little lay of the land here. These beautiful, large, crystalline leaves are kind of a matte black bordering maroon color, but also maybe that's wishful thinking. They are a dark green. It does give an anti-reflective quality that makes it look a lot blacker than it probably actually is, if that makes sense. In person, it's very dynamic. I have to say, in this lighting, it's also capturing, from what I can tell, pretty true to how it looks in real life. Just giving you the full fantasy leaf tour here. Even though the leaf is semi the size of my head, this will still continue to grow and get quite a bit bigger. And if you Google DocBlock Anthurium Michelle, one of the first images that comes up is DocBlock standing by like a leaf that's like this big. I'm almost pirouetting. And that could be slightly exaggerated, but they get a lot bigger. So I have high hopes that this is going to go big places and do big things to my house. I think worth mentioning is it came in a pot. It's very heavy, got some fly spotting. Also, I love a good hang tag, makes it feel luxurious. So this one is right there, a little stick. And now I'm gonna be very careful that I don't hurt the plant when I do this, so just give me a second. This is the pot that it came in. I believe that this is a 5-inch pot, and we got roots coming out the holes at the bottom. I'm gonna repot it soon, but I wanted to give it a few weeks to acclimate to my environment, especially for the humidity concerns, with it transitioning over from greenhouse life, which is quite a created and very regimented biome. I have been misting it. I've been watching my watering, not too much, not too little. Very Goldilocks experience there. And I'm excited because my Divine Dev pot fits the pot in there, thus acting as an aerated cache pot. So like with most plant things, I'm worried about overwatering. I am not as worried about underwatering, and I'm spending quite a bit of time contemplating exactly what soil I want to put this plant into. If you have any ideas or any suggestions of any characteristics of soil or a place that I could just buy a soil that works really good for anthuriums, let me know in the comments, because my mind is working overtime, like too much. I need to like step away from this, right? I have analysis paralysis. But one thing I will say, after officially kind of measuring this Anthurium vetii as one of my bigger plant successes, including treating it and eradicating its spider mites. This is the newest leaf right here. It's got those coveted little ruching things. Not fenestrations. What is that called? Does anyone know what that's called? So delusionally, I think I'm really good at anthuriums. But also in my mind, the inner saboteur is never not whispering, "You're not, you're a fraud." So it's a mixture of that. I feel like a piece of crap and a god when it comes to this genre of plants. That being said, I've had really good luck since I started mixing a little bit of sphagnum moss into my well-draining aroids soil. So we'll definitely be including that addition into the DocBlock Anthurium Michelle. I have been thinking I don't need to yell because the mic's on me here. Also, I have been thinking that, like right here would be a good spot for this plant. I think it goes well with the dark and the green and the tree. But still under heavy emotional scrutiny. Not sure I could go wrong, but I'm just discovering and considering every angle. I think this plant is really beautiful. I think it is probably the most visually stunning example of any houseplant that I've seen. So it is has taken the top spot. And I think so far, after owning it for 2 weeks, the fact that it's still alive, the fact that when I look at it, it makes me feel a certain tinge of domestic glamour, I would highly recommend. It just has that certain je ne sais quoi. Personally, I think that the anthurium genre of aroid is a pretty sensual group of plants. I really enjoy how much diversity and visual interest happens just on one leaf. Aesthetic, but also cerebral. And that's a great segue into my weekend getaway that changed everything when I got to see Dita Von Teese in Las Vegas. I can't wait to dive into that with this visual companion. So I commiserated. I love wearing a gray sweatsuit. Feels like a mixture of rocky training, attempting to achieve your goals, and depression. And that's quite a mix. This video began as a magnum opus, merging this glamorous houseplant and that glamorous trip. So I can't wait to share part 2 with you in a few days. And I'm gonna give you a mini update about this plant because there's been some big changes happening. First things first, there is a new leaf here. And I have to treat it very delicately so I don't knock it off, but I think that's the name of the game. That's what I want to happen, more leaves. And I'm excited to see if it is as big as these. Because you just never know. You never know. I've also been doing a lot of this, which probably led to that. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to be seeing you so soon. Like, maybe too soon. But I'm excited. I hope you're excited. She is definitely excited.